Hello, good day. My name is Prince Yemi Kasali. Today we'll be talking about Metafutures. That is the #1 crypto future trading robot in the market right now. As of today, February 16, 2022, this is the only robot that is trading futures. We have a lot of robots trading spots all over the market, but this is the #1 futures trading robot. So before we move in, let's go into crypto trading proper, in case you are yet to understand what crypto trading is. Crypto trading is buying and selling of coins. You use a stable coin to buy an unstable coin, then sell it back to the stable coin. So what we are trying to say is there are some coins that fluctuate, there are some coins that are very stable. For example, USDT is a coin that is stable. It is just like the normal USD. So it is a crypto form of USD. It has the USD value, but it's a crypto coin. So you can use that to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoins fluctuate, goes up and down, they are not stable. So buy them when they have lesser value, then sell it back to a stable coin when they have appreciated. So the difference between it is your gain. We have two types of trading. We have the spot and we have the futures. Like you can see, the spot has light reward and also light risk, while the future has huge reward and has huger risk. So that's that. So the major difference when it comes to risk, spot is having a very low risk, while futures is having a high risk. It's a high risk system. Then when it talks to direction of trading, you can trade upwards in spot, while you can trade upwards and downwards in futures. What we mean is you can trade only on spot when you're buying low and selling high. That is when you can trade in spot. But when it comes to futures, you can trade the downwards trend of a coin, and you can trade the upwards trend of a coin. You can predict that the coin is going to go down, is going to disvalue, and you earn. And you can also trade that, oh, this coin is going to appreciate, and you earn. Then when it comes to leveraging in sport, you can only trade what you have. That means if you have $10, that is all you can trade. If you have $100, that is what you can trade. So it makes the income you'll be earning low. Your income will be based on what you have. But when it comes to futures, you can have $10 and still trade with $50. You can trade with $100. You can trade with times anything of what you have. You can trade with times 10. You can trade with times 20, times 50. I see some platforms talking about times 100. I don't know. I have not checked that, but at least I know people trade with times 50, times 20, times 30, and times 10, times 5, times 3 of what they have. So that simply means if I have $10, I can trade with $100. The system will allow me to trade with $100. So this would give you huger amount when it comes to earning. You earn very well. That means you earn huge because you are leveraging on the system to help you multiply whatever you're coming in with. So you have $100 trading capital. You can leverage on $1,000. That means times 10 of $100 is $1,000. You can do $2,000. So the higher you go, the higher the risk, but at least you can go and make good money on time. Then when it comes to capital involved in sport is high because you need a higher amount of money to get huger profits. But when it comes to futures, it is low because you can leverage on the multiples. You can leverage on multiple of 10, multiple of 20, multiple of 50, depending on what you want. Then liquidation. Liquidation simply means, can your money get exhausted? Can you bankrupt? Can your trade disappear? On sport, no, because it can only go down, it will come up with time. It can only delay when the trade is going down, the value is going down, but later on the value will come up and you sell. But in futures, when it gets to some stage, your money will be exhausted and that's all. So you can liquidate on futures, but when it comes to sports, you cannot liquidate. So this is the movement of every coin. Even when it is going on the upwards direction, it still goes on this zigzag. When it's coming on the downwards direction, it also goes on this zigzag. So that is it. Now let's talk about why you don't liquidate on spot. Now, the area of entering a game, that means entering a trade, is 0, because when you are moving in, that now determines if the coin is going down on you or going up on you. So when it comes to up, that means when it goes to the positive direction, it can go 50% up, 100% up, 150%, 200%, and so on. So it can keep going up like that. But with our experience in sports and with the past histories in sports, coins had never gone down to minus 100. It can go down to minus 88%, minus 90%, but one way or the other, we had never seen it going to minus 100%. Nothing is impossible. It can come up, but even before it gets to minus 100, now there's something wrong with the market. Something really went wrong with the market. So it's possible, but it has not been heard of. There is no news about it. There is no history about it. So that means you can hardly liquidate on spot. You can hardly go down to minus 90. I have seen some coins went to minus 80, and that is even when you did not do your normal and proper cross-checking. Because if you trade a bull run, I mean a crazy bull run, it can go down to the base, but we have never heard of 100%, minus 100%. It can only go upwards in plus 200, plus 300%, plus 1000% sometimes, but it hardly goes down that way. So if you want to trade spot, I would advise you to go for ReaQ trading robot. It's perfect. It allows you to either to make automated trades or to do manual trading. Manual trading is not like manual trading. It's like you're making the settings yourself, you're making the decisions yourself, but you don't have to be on the system 24/7. So that's that. Then we go back to what we mean by leveraging. You can see on the left hand side is what you have, your deposit, but your buying power is on the right hand side. That means despite the fact that you are coming with just some little dollars, you can trade with huge amount of dollars. It is just about leveraging. The system will allow you. Just tell the system, multiply my capital by 50, then it will trade for you with times 50 of what you have. It will trade for you with times 10, times 5, times 2, times 3, times 30, times 40 of what you have, depending on what you want. So that is where liquidation comes in futures. So let's learn how liquidation happens. How liquidation happens in futures is simple. This is a tree. This is just the diagram I used. So your buying point is your 0 points. So it can go to plus 50, plus 100, plus 150%, plus 200% when you're buying. Now it can also go down to minus 25%, minus 33%, minus 75%, 100%. Minus 100% is something that we have never seen, but we said we have never seen it. But how do we liquidate when it comes to futures? The simple truth is this. For example, if I have $10 trading capital and I'm doing times 3, so that makes me have 30 US dollars. So that means I'm having 30 US dollars to trade. I can trade with 30 US dollars, but my own capital is $10. So when the coin goes down instead of going up and it reaches $10, then you get liquidated, because the system does not have more money for you to go into the deep. So the reason why it is not liquidating on spot is because your money is still there. You have not exhausted all your money. But in futures, your own capital is $10. At the time it is going down and the $10 has been exhausted, that is the end of that trade. That makes you liquidate. That means your $10 has gone. Because while futures is allowing you to trade with $300, it is not allowing you to go into the deep with $30. It is allowing you to trade with $30, but it is not allowing you to go into the deep with $30. So you need to understand that. So now it is for you to understand when exactly you will be your money will be liquidated. For example, you're trading with $33 I mean 33% of $30 will give you 9.9 USDT. So that means you will get liquidated at minus 30%. That means minus 33%. Around that 33% is when, if you're trading X3, that means times 3 of what you have, your liquidation will always come around minus 33%. You know, minus 33% is almost 10. So your liquidation will come around that time. So it is for you to understand that, oh, if I'm trading times 3, my dip must not go down beyond minus 33%, otherwise I'll get liquidated. So that's that. Now if you're trading times 5 here, your times 5, 10 times 5 will give you $50. 20% of $50 will give you $10. So that means if you're trading times 5, your liquidation will always come around minus 20%, because at minus 20% your own capital would have been exhausted, and that is the end. So if you're trading with times 10 and you're trading with $10, 10 times 10 is $100. That means the system will allow you to trade with $100, but 10% of $10 will give you $10. So that means at minus 10%, your own capital that you come in with would have been exhausted. So that is the end of the game. So what we are saying, the software we'll be using, Metafutures, only allows you to trade between times 1 and times 10. It does not allow anything above times 10, because it makes liquidation comes in faster. For example, if you are coming in with times 20, your liquidation will be around minus 5%. So a lot of people will be losing out of greed. People who want to trade more than times 10, and they will be putting the blame on the software, not knowing that they are the one who is mistrading. So in summary, the most popular leverage on Metafutures is times 3, times 5, times 10. You can do times 4, you can do times 2, you can do times 6, you can do times 8, you can do anything, but those are the major popular ones. So now all you just need to do is to make sure that if you're trading times 3, don't go down below minus 30%, otherwise you get liquidated. So anything from minus 28%, you must start attacking your trade. We'll talk about that later. Then the same thing is times 5. Don't go down beyond minus 20%, otherwise you get liquidated. If you're doing times 10, don't go down beyond minus 10%. So I want you to understand one thing: no matter what you're doing, it's a game of lose and it's a game of win. You will lose some, you'll gain some, but make sure your gain is more and more than your loss. So that's the way it works. So avoid big lose in the game of futures. You will win, you will lose, but your gain must be more than your loss. So that's just the rule of the game. So don't worry when there are losses, just make sure you are able to conquer your losses. So one powerful thing you need when you're trading futures, you need good signals. In our team, we recommend LunarPrush. LunarPrush is a platform where you know the top 10 coins of the day that people are trading, so you try and part of it. Then all the same, you must be very careful with LunarPrush, because as you're trading it, a lot of people are also withdrawing the money. So don't make that coin go down on you, otherwise that is going to be loss. Then the highest positive and the highest negative are also good ways of trading. What you just need to do is to go to your Binance or which app you're using, go and add all the coins that are being traded on Metafutures to your favorite. Anytime you go there, just check the highest coin. The highest coin has the tendency of going down, so you trade it to be going down. That means you short it, you sell it. But if you're trading the lowest coin, you have to project that it will go up very soon, so you buy that. That means you long that. Then also you need to study your candles, know how to glance through candles and see what it's all about. Then another thing is, in our team we have a powerful software we're using to know good coins. It's a powerful tool that we use to know when to trade a coin, when a coin is going on a uptrend and also a downtrend, and also it helps us to know that this coin it's just fresh in going up or in going down. There's difference between a coin going up and a coin going down. So some coins are going up and has a tendency of going down anytime. So we trade coins that are just going up. Then at the same time, it gives you the accurate RSI. That means they overbought or they oversell. So this is just for our team alone, and it's working perfectly well in our team, and we are really enjoying it in our team. So this gives us good trades. This makes our team perfect. Then it's also good to have a good team so that people who to talk to guide you through and so on. So that's the power of team. Then you need a good robot. So good robot is why we are choosing our Metafutures. All these things, those who are trading it manually are really not enjoying it. Most of the time you will not be on the line online, or your network goes off, and one trade would have gone beyond what you want and so on. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of people are losing without robots. So robots has been helping us perfectly well in trading. So that is how we come across this wonderful powerful robots. So how do we trade with this robot? Before we go into the trading, we want you to understand that your trading profits, despite the fact you're trading using Metafutures and you can see what you have made every day on Metafutures, your trading still remains on your Binance. So as you can see here, when you make a trade on Metafutures, it goes to the Binance and activate the trade. When it sells inside your futures on Binance. So every profit and gain, every profit and your capital remains on your futures platform on your Binance. So that is it. So money, everything about your trading is on your Binance. You can study your activities on your Metafutures to know what you have earned for the day, but you can still go back to your Binance and check it. So it is 100% safe. Your money is in your hands, not with any platform. So coming back to the ways of trading, we have the manual trading and we have the copy trading. So when it comes to copy trading simply means there is a master and everybody is doing what that person is doing. The only difference is the capital involved does not matter. If I'm buying Bitcoin right now, everybody around me will also be buying Bitcoin. So what I do is what they do, but their capital, the trading capital differs. If I'm buying 1,000, you can decide to have set your trade that whenever I'm buying, it will be buying 200 for you, it will be buying 100 for another person, buying 10 for another person. But the way I trade is the coins I'm trading and the system I set on ground is what everybody will be doing. So you can copy someone while you're doing every other thing. This person is trading for you, and this person does not have access to your Binance and does not have access to your Metafutures. The person is just in charge of your trading. So it is called copy trading, and it makes your trading automated. You don't need to do anything. Now I want you to also understand that you're copying someone does not make it look like you're not going to lose. You're going to lose, you're going to gain, but your gain will be more than your loss. For now, as at today, which is February 16, 2022, we have 5 masters on the copy trade sections. You can also move in and become a master, especially with what we have in our team. You can start using the software to trade for people and you'll be earning some percentage for trading for people. It's just for you to understand the way the system works, and you start trading for people as you start earning by trading for people. So it's as good as that. Now, that doesn't mean you might not lose. That doesn't mean you might not gain. Autobot is the system's bot. They have 2 system bots, and they have another 3 people who have joined the master section. So it is just for us to copy any one of them, but I'm just making reference to these ones. As you can see here, we have 283 people copying the X3, the 3X. Then it has if you look at the red, it has a very short red. That means it has a very short loss compared to what is happening, what they are trading. But if you look at the X5 also, it is gaining, it's gaining a lot, and it's also trading. We have 83 people trading it, and it has a longer red than the other one. So that means the first one, X3, is safer, but the money is coming in stipends, while the X5 is more what do we call it, has more profit when it comes to making profit from, but has huger loss than this. Although none of them is up to 10% loss, but all the same, one is still huger than the other. That is because the risk involved in S3 is not up to the risk involved in S5. In X3, you don't have to get to minus 33%, but on X5 you don't have to get to minus 20%. You can copy any one of them. It is safer to copy the other one, but the money comes in stipends, it comes in little, but it is better to have little earnings than to jump into the game and lose your money. So it depends on you. Any one of them is good, but one is safer, one has more earnings. Then we go to the manual trading. When it comes to manual trading is simple. It simply means you're going to do the settings by yourself. For example, here you're going to choose the amount you'll be trading with. In these settings, I was just playing around, so I'm not asking you to do exactly this. We'll be talking about settings in another video, but this is just to understand the concept. Now on these, I'm using $15 to trade, and I'm using times 10, so that means my total trading is $150. So that means I'll be trading with $150, but I'm putting in $15 to trade. So that's the way it is here. And I know that the trade must not go beyond minus 9%. Immediately it gets to minus 10%, I get liquidated. That means I'll lose my $15. Now there is a way of doing it. Also, there's trade settings. Trade settings simply means how do you want the trade to work. For example, you have trade startup callback. That means when you want to start a trade, immediately you click start trading, you can set a percentage. For example, if I put 1% here, that means when the trade goes down 1%, that is when it will activate the trade for me. So that means you want the trade to go down, then you now set. For example, maybe you check your chart and you see that, oh, this trade is going to be good, but you still want it to get to resistance level, and you feel like, oh, minus 5% is the resistance level, minus 3% is the resistance level. So you just set it here, put minus 3%, so that when it gets to the resistance level, it will just pick up from there and it will follow it up. So this is how powerful trading the system is. Then lost as a stop loss. That means when you want to stop your loss, like they use on Binance, you can stop your loss, but stop loss will come after all margin calls. Margin calls will come before stop loss. So after it has gone through all the margin calls, avoid it from getting back to the base, then you can the stop loss will now be activated. That means I don't want to lose everything I have, I just want to lose a particular percentage. Then you set the percentage you can't afford to lose. So that's that on stop loss. Then also margin calls. If you have done one spot, especially Royal Q before now, you understand this. Margin call is just to keep buying so that the dip does not keep going down. For example, you know minus 10 is your liquidation on times 10. So all you just need to do to make sure this does not go to minus 10, you keep buying more. So the more you're buying, the more it takes the percentage back up. For example, if I am trading with $15 and I buy one more and it is on minus 8 before now, it goes to minus 4. So you start thinking of going down, then you buy again to make sure it keeps going and it never gets to minus 10%. So that's that. Then all position take profit ratio. That is when you want to take your profit. For example, here I'm taking profit at 0.6. This is just mere mathematics. 0.6 of the trading will now be 6% of my capital. For example, if I'm trading $15 and I take 0.6, that means when the coin goes 0.6% up, 0.6 of my $150 is going to give me 6% of my initial capital, which is $15. So for example, I'm trading with $115. I'm trading with $15, which I'm on times 10, which will now give me $150. So $150, 0.6 of $150 $150 is 6% of $15 which I'm trading with. So I just want to take profit and run out because I'm trading on times 10. So that's it. Although you can still take profit at 1, you can take profit at 2 depending on your signal and how sure you are about your signal. So all position take profit callback. This one is when the first one immediately it gets to 6% or 0.6% depending on the one you're looking at. Immediately it gets there, it will not take your profit. It will allow the system to keep going up. So it keeps going up. But whenever it goes down 0.2% of your capital, it will take the profit. For example, it gets to 6% and it keeps going on to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. But immediately it goes down minus 0.2%, it will take your profit. So, and the margin call configuration, that means setting your margin calls, determine when you want the margin calls to be activated and how many coins you want to buy at that particular time. Most of us who have done Royal Q understands that, and we'll be talking about that in the practicals. So here we have liquidation settings. Liquidation settings is also to avoid liquidations, to buy more, to give you a notification and so on. And while trading settings is also doing the same thing. So most of the time I see them doing the same thing in different directions. So that's how powerful the robot is and what you can make the robot to do. So when it comes to trading manually, you have the one-shot mindset and you have the cost averaging mindset. What's the difference between the two? One shot mindset simply means you're not thinking of forming much of cost averaging. You're not thinking of doing more call buys. You're just thinking of going into the market and make your profit. You so much believe that it will not go down to minus 10% when you're trading times 10, or it will not go down minus 20% when you're trading times 5, and it will not go down minus 33% when you're trading times 3. And if it now goes down, you're just going to buy one. That means do manual replenishment. Buy, I have $15, I buy another $15. So that's just it. So you know by the time you're doing that, it will not still go down more because you already know that it will not go down that minus 20%. So if it now gets to minus 16% and you do manual replenishment, you know it will not return back to that minus 20% again. So that's just all about one shot. But cost averaging, you might not be so sure, or you're not interested in making any risk. You just want to keep making sure you are how do I put it, you are dividing it so that the coin does not go down on you. So you keep buying more when the coins are going down at a particular time. That is where the margin calls is being involved. That is where you need margin calls. So for one shot you need signals and you need altcoins. That means you need coins that are really going to deliver. So and with our team we'll get you signals and we'll get you the tools to use to detect altcoins. So, and note again, if you're trading with the one shot mindset, note if you're trading times 10, don't let your coin go down minus 10%. If you're trading times 5, don't let your coin go down minus 20%, and if you're trading times 3, don't let your coin go down minus 33%. It's important. So the advantage of one shot and the disadvantage. The advantage is it does not tie much of your money down, and if you're losing a particular money, you're just losing your initial trading capital. You're not compiling more money and later lose. So that's that. It's a very straight thing. You get your money instantly and then you leave, and when it is there to deliver, you just leave it. You don't waste more money on a coin that is going down while you should be trading another coin maybe in the downwards direction or in the upwards direction. And the disadvantage, I see no much disadvantage than some coin might be there for a while. What I'm trying to say, be there for a while, is they will not go to minus 10, but they might stay on minus 5 for maybe a week or two, trying to go up down in that direction, and they do not go to the final. They do not decide if they are dying. That means if they want to liquidate or if they want to go up. So they just stay in between, especially if you're doing times 10 and times 5, which would make the coin goes deep to minus 20%. Minus 20%. So a coin can stay in between minus 20 and minus 5 for a week or thereabout. So it's possible, anything can happen. So that particular trade will just be there for that while. So that's one. Then the second part of it is, if your signals are not too good enough, you might get liquidated often if you don't know how to get your signals. That is why you need a good team. So I think that's that on that. So proper money management is required for every, and you should have a daily target. When you get your daily target, let it go and prepare for another day. So one other ways of doing this is to make sure you're trading half of half. What you need to do is this: you will divide your money into two. And for example, if you have $200, divide it into two. Leave $100 in your spot. That means you're not trading with it at all. You're not going to be getting tempted to trade with it. Now trade with $100, and that $100 again, you'll be trading with $50. You will leave $50 for replenishment. So what I usually do is, for example, if I have $100, I have $200. $100 is in my spot wallet. I am not trading with it at all. Even in my spot wallet, I'm not trading. You can take it to your P2P wallet. Don't trade with it. You're now trading with $100. So I'll divide it into two. I have $50. I have $50. So what I just need to do is trade $25 to $25. That means I'll divide that $50 into two. So I'll be making two trades at a time. That means the maximum trade I'll be making is $25 twice. That means $25. That means I'm only going to be having two trades, which each one of them is going to be $25. So in case issue happens, the remaining will now be the replenishment. For example, if I'm trading times 5, so minus 20 is going to be my replenishment. My minus 20 is going to be my liquidation. So all I just need to do is to set my call buy to be 1, which will be on minus 16 or minus 17. So when it goes to minus 16, for example, and it buys 1, so the coin will now go back to minus 8. So from minus 8 to minus 20 again, if nothing really happens, nothing would affect that kind of trade. If I'm not trading a massive bull run, a crazy coin, nothing will happen to that kind of trade. So it cannot go that deep. So that is what I'm trying to say. And the reason why I divide it into two at the beginning is, if I mismanage my fund, because when you're trading, you might lose balance, especially when the coin is booming, when you're trading and it's going smoothly. So you just forget about proper money management and start trading on your coins. So in case issue now happens, I have a callback to go back to and start trading. It doesn't mean it has to liquidate. It might not liquidate. There might just be a downfall or change of trend. For example, a coin is going uptrend and all of a sudden it goes back, and you still have your coins trading with you. You're still trading with your coin, as in your coins is still there, not liquidated, but they are just sluggish. So you always go back to your spot or to your P2P wallet. Bring that money. You'll be trading that one while you're waiting for the other one to get out of the dip. So that is just it. So that's the concept. And in case you get all your money liquidated, you still have another money to stay with. So there must be 3 ways. If you're trading one shot mindset, it has 3 ways. Number 1, you have your reserve that you're not touching, and you also have divide your trading capital, the one you're trading with presently, into 2. The other part will serve as replenishment, while the first one will go into the war of making money. So you'll be trading with half will be there, while you have entire half at the reserve. So that's that. So one other, then we move into manual trading. When it comes to manual trading, you have to do your settings by yourself. It is called cost averaging. That means you are always making sure you are attacking the coin. You don't allow it to go down. You keep halving it. For example, in this show, I have 6%. If for this is on a 10 times 10 show, I mean the picture here is on times 10. So when the coin goes 6%, that means 60% down. I mean, as in it is minus 60% of my entire capital. So I must not allow it to go to 10%, otherwise my entire money 100% will have gone down. So what I did here is make sure anytime it goes to 60%, I tackle it. So when the first one, when it goes to 60%, when it goes down to 60%, I do my first buy. It will go to minus 30. So I mean, let's use the 6%. When it goes 6%, I do manual settings. I do a call buy. It buy 1 and it will divide it to minus 3%. So that will give me another minus 3%, but huge amount of money will be in the market. For example, I'm playing with $10, so another $10. So when I buy another $10, I'll be having minus 3% instead of minus 6%. So when it goes down another minus 6%, it will have whatever I have there. So I want to believe that 6 plus 3, that is 9. It will have it to minus 4.5. So minus 4.5. The third one has to go up a little so that we can be able to buy more. So this is just about cost averaging, trying to buy and buy and buy and buy to make sure the coin does not go down and deliver on time. So in here, it is advisable to first of all go in with 10% of your trading capital, not the reserve. 10% of your trading capital. So the more it's going down, the more you are buying more to half it. For example, the first time you buy 1, the second time you buy 2, the third time you can buy 4 or buy 6 and hand it that way. So it depends on you, and make sure you keep taking care of it and allow it not to liquidate. So you would have done your settings and make sure it keeps going that way. So what is the negative part of it? The advantage is it does not let your coin to go down so that it can get out of the dip on time. But the disadvantage is you are putting more money on that trade, and if that trade later liquidates, it will be liquidating with all your fund. For example, I come in with $10 and I later buy $90. So that simply means if I lose, and if that coin was so stubborn and gets liquidated, that means I'll be liquidating $100. That's the disadvantage. But the advantage is if I later win that match, that means I will be earning with $1,000 percentage. So what it simply means is I have put in $100 and it is times 10. So times 10 is $1,000. So I'll be earning along with $1,000 instead of the former $10. Instead of the former $10 which I use, which will be earning me $100. So if I put 1%, if my entire money is going to be 1%, so it's going to be 1% of $1,000, and that is I think $10 instantly. So that's the advantage and that's the disadvantage. Now I just want to take this. When it comes to take profit, we need to be very careful and not to be over greedy. I'm running this. I expect us to take our profit on or before 2%. It is better to take it, buy another one again, take buy instead of waiting for 5%, 10% profit and later on lose. Because the way the coin works is simple. It works on a zigzag. It will go down, it will go up, it will go down, it will go up. So sometimes before it gets to 5%, it might have gone up and down on 2% about 10 times. So it is advisable not to go beyond that, and at the same time you can go very lower as 0.5%. It makes it interesting. But the disadvantage of 0.5% is sometimes it might give you 0.1, 0.2%. So it is always good to know what the advantage and disadvantage of what you're doing. So I'm making examples of some profit. For example, if you're taking 0.6%, if you're taking 1%, 1.3%, 1.5%, and 2%. 2%, I don't usually do that. I do 1.3% and 1.5% majorly most of the time, especially with sports. I'm used to it. Just taking your profit and leave. 1.3% is what I usually do now. Those days I usually do 1.5%, 2%, but later on I stopped 2%, I jumped to 1.5%, and now I'm used to taking profit at 1.3%. I'm comfortable at that, but that doesn't mean you cannot do 1% or 0.6%. It's okay. So if you're doing times 3, 1.6% will give you 1.8%. You understand? So, you know, when you're going into the market, you're going into the market with $10, and 10 times 3 is $30. So it is 0.6% of $30, but it's going to be 1.8% of your $10. So 1.8% of $10 is gonna give you, I think, about 100 and sorry, it's gonna give you 18 cents, I guess 1.8%. So I think something like that. So then if you're doing 1%, if you're taking your profit at 1%, that is gonna give you 3% of your own capital. If you're doing 1.3%, it's gonna give you 3.9 of your capital, of your own capital that you're trading with. Then if you're doing 1.5, that is 4.5% of your capital. If you're doing 2%, that is 6% of your capital. So let's go to times 5. Times 5, if you're doing times 5, 0.6 will give you 3% of your capital. If you're doing a 1%, it's going to give you 5% of your capital. 1.3 is going to give you 6.5% of your capital. 1.5 is going to give you 7.5% of your capital. And 2 is going to give you 10% of your capital. That is catching. That is something everybody loves. So if you're doing times 10, it's going to give you 6% of your capital. 0.6 is going to give you 6% of your capital. If you're doing 1, it's going to give you 10% of your capital. If you're doing 1.3, it's going to give you 13% of your capital. If you're going to do 1.5%, it's going to give you 15% of your capital. And if you're doing 2%, it's going to give you 20% of your capital. And that is also catching. You know, you just want to get 20% of your capital. Trade with $10 and just get $2 instantly. You know, it's interesting, but it's tempting. I want you to focus more on the ones in red. If you want to be leveraging on times 3, I would suggest you do 1.3% or 1.5%. 2%, I don't encourage it. And the reason why I went down to 1.3% or 1.5% is leveraging. Forex is a good game, so it's not really good in taking 1.8%, even 3% without stress, because 3% of 1%, you know, I don't know, I just feel, but 1% is okay, 1.3% is okay, 1.5% is okay, but I'll prefer 1.3% or 1.5% that will give you 3.9. You know, that is close to 4% or 4.5 if you're doing leverage on times 3. But if you're doing leverage on times 5, I would suggest you do 1% or 1.3%. It is safer and it is faster. To me, I just believe that is cool, because your entire capital, it's going to be 5% of your entire capital or 6.5% of your entire capital. And I think that is cool. That's good. And to me, I believe that's okay if you're doing 5 times 5. If you're doing times 10, you see, the reason why I choose that is your liquidation on X5 is going to be minus 20%. So you still have more time to wait for it to get to 1% or 1.3%. And the reason why I'm choosing 1 on X3 is because your liquidation is minus 33%. So you still have more time for it to get to 1.3 or 1.5%. But on X10, that means times 10, you don't have more time. You want to take your profit on time. So I'll prefer you take your profit at 0.6 or 1% maximum. That's going to give you 6% instantly and 10% instantly. So I prefer you taking it early, because sometimes a coin usually go to -6, 1, then return back to goes to +6, +1, and later return back to -5. Then go back, you know. So sometimes even that 0.3, you will not get there on time. It will be parabolating on 1, go back down to minus, then come back again, and so on. So it is better you take your profit fast when you are on times 10, which is what, 0.6% or 1%, which will give you 6% of your entire capital or 10% of your entire capital. So if you're trading with $10, you get $1 instantly with 1%. So that is 10% of your own trading capital. But you see, on X5, I choose a different color to put in that 3. That is the safest for someone who has who believes in safety. Number one, you're doing X5. X5, you need to go to, it will get to minus 20 before it goes down, before you liquidate. So it has good time for you. You have good time to deal with it. Then you take your profit at 0.6, which is very fast, which is very okay, very fast. So you are very, very safe. If you are a beginner and you value your money very well, you don't want to lose at all. After you might have done all what do we call it, signals and every other thing, I prefer and would beg you to just do X5 and take your profit at 0.6 so that you get your 3%, you are out of that particular trade and look for another trade. It is better to, trade twice than to risk once. Sometimes you'll be trading on X10 and it will be giving you whatever it wants to give you, but there will always be a change in market. Often, it comes often where you'll be struggling not to liquidate. So X5 gives you more room not to liquidate, and at the same time you take your profit on time before any sudden thing happens. Thank you very much. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasale. This is more of a theory. This is just for you to understand futures and understand how to manipulate meta futures to trade futures comfortably. I will be doing others in previous training where you'll be seeing the practical aspect of the trading. Thank you very much. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasale. Thank you.